if we start now then by my saying, well, Reverend Morawaka, we're enormously grateful to you for joining us today on this discussion with the Asia Scotland Institute, and to help us in our efforts to understand what happens in Asia, and through doing that, to understand both the beliefs and customs of people in different countries. And I was so glad to meet you several months ago in Glasgow, where I learned that you are a chaplain at the University of Strathclyde, which was fascinating. And you were kind enough to agree to have a conversation with me, and then later come and visit Edinburgh to talk about what you're doing. So I'm very, very grateful to you. And I remember you telling me that you were born in Sri Lanka and then traveled from there to India, I believe. And then you arrived eventually in Scotland. When did you arrive in Scotland for your present role?
Okay, so first of all, I want to be thankful for inviting me to join this. And yes, thank you for everything. I arrived in Scotland in 2022.
Yes.
And this is my second year. And yeah, that's how it's going. And as the chaplain of Strathclyde University, as you explained, I'm doing some work there for people, practicing meditation, guiding them for their mental peace and happiness. In addition, I'm here in Scotland's Buddhist Vihara, doing activities here also, and doing programs for children and for elders also, meditation and things.
Yes. And in this troubled world, because it is troubled, there are crises everywhere we look, in this country, in India, in other parts of the world. It is a sort of year of elections, really, at the moment, with different people getting voted in. How does Buddhism help people deal with these situations? What are the core beliefs that you share with the people that you talk to and preach to?
Yeah, basically, Buddhism shows to practice ourselves, like to purify ourselves first of all, which means focusing on ourselves. The best example is like it shows us, even if someone hates, even if someone blames, criticizes, or tries to do anything harm or wrong to you, then if I can tolerate them and if I can protect myself, my mind, without falling my mind into evil thoughts, that is the greatest and the best victory that I can gain. If I try to react through evil thoughts, like if someone hate me, then even like if I'm also doing the same, if I'm also hating others in return, the Buddhism says like hatred is never appeased by hatred, and hatred can be appeased only by loving kindness. This is the message, like to practice loving kindness. Then if everyone has this great quality, loving kindness, then that's the beginning, that's the step to move forward.
That's very interesting. And in that respect, are some of the beliefs of Christians similar to Buddhism?
When I meet people and discuss, then they say that love your neighbor, and then it's like loving kindness for spreading loving kindness towards others. So they just mention like that. So such kind of good thoughts, I think they are similar.
Yes, I understand that. And the idea of forgiveness and reconciliation also, is that right?
Yes, because Buddhism always says like we have chances. If I'm not doing very well at the beginning, then I have another chance. In the middle, I can be correct. And then sometimes in life also, if I'm not successful as a human being with great qualities, then I will get another opportunity when I become an old one, which means at the end of my life also, if I can be correct, if I can work very well for others, then Buddhism says that's the best thing. So we have chances.
And tell me, Margot, does Buddhism believe in reincarnation, that people will come back in another form?
Yes, I want to explain it. We have two concepts called rebirth and reincarnation.
Yes.
Now, reincarnation is like someone is going to be born again, which means the same person, the same thing. But rebirth, and Buddhism says it's like the person. Now, if I take myself, after my death, if I cannot eradicate all the defilements, which means if I have craving in my mind, I will definitely be born again. That's the teaching about rebirth. But there, that's we have to understand the difference between reincarnation and reborn. Like rebirth, rebirth means like what I accumulate in this life, wholesome, unwholesome, or we have another part called if someone practices meditation, and if
Yes.
someone gains some spiritual advancements, and if someone dies with them with these spiritual advancements, what happens? Definitely there are some kind of realms, we call them Brahma realms. So this is a circle, and Buddhism shows us to get rid of this circle. However, Buddhism says even though we go to heaven, even though we are in this human world, we are in this circle. And that's why Buddhism says we believe in rebirth, which means people are going in this circle.
Yeah, I see. But you don't come back as something else in another life.
Another life with what we practice in this life, wholesome, unwholesome, or the energy or something that we gain through practice of meditation. So they are the key points, and they are the factors that will be energized, like to be born again.
From our point of view at the Asia Scotland Institute, we think it is important that people in Scotland particularly understand how to deal with people from other countries and cultures. And it's useful to know that, for example, if someone who is not a Buddhist is talking to someone who is a practicing Buddhist, that they will not be aggressive towards them. And so it's important not to understand that and believe it's a weakness, but to comprehend that it is actually a strength. That if someone said something rude or difficult to you, you would not reply in that manner. So that's helpful. There are different sorts of Buddhism, aren't there? There's a strain that originated from Sri Lanka, where you were. What is that form of Buddhism called, and how is it slightly different?
Yes. In Sri Lanka, we have a tradition based on Theravada tradition. Theravada. Yes. And we have two aspects called Theravada and Mahayana. So in Sri Lanka, we are working based on Theravada tradition, which means giving priority to the great teachings of the Buddha, like meditation and then teachings. And that's how. And also when we go for our monasteries, we have several traditions also. We have some monks in monasteries, in forests, they practice meditations there, and they are not coming to the society, they are not with people, they have specific places to go and practice meditation. And then some monks, they are living in the town, in villages, helping people, supporting and just guiding people how to practice meditation, and they are dealing with society. And the other group of monks, they are not coming like that. So we have such kind of aspects, but we are based on Theravada tradition.
Yeah, I understand. And I think that I looked this up. Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in the world with 500 million members. The bigger than Hinduism, actually, I believe, possibly. But Christianity is still the largest. Do you notice people moving from one religion to another? People joining Buddhism from other religions?
Yes, even we have met people, even here I have seen some people, but the most interesting thing is when some people come to see us, or when they come to us, they just want to practice meditation and they want to get some guidance, and with that they also think that it's not important to be a Buddhist practice those teachings. And even when they ask us, we say that, so you can practice, you if you want, you can practice meditation, because you are the one who can get the benefit through meditation. Even I said that, can you remember, like in my university, one Muslim girl just came to me and she showed me the picture of the Buddha, and she asked me, can I practice Buddhism? Even if I'm a Muslim girl, can I practice? I said, yeah. We need no label. We need not to say that I'm a Buddhist. Buddhism always says if you can practice good, if you can purify your mind, then it's up to you and you will get results. No label like that. So I have met such people, so I have seen. And
That's unusual, isn't it? Other religions, I think, say you have to commit to be part of us or not. So what you have said about Buddhism is very interesting, actually. Very, yes. And as you look at the world, and as you look at hostility and anger and people taking positions, that is something that, in a way, mindfulness and meditation and the views of Buddhism can help solve, right? If Mr. Putin adopted Buddhist approaches to life, he would not be as aggressive and difficult as we read of him being. Is that true?
yes, indeed, because the basic practices we have, like loving kindness, meditation, and when it comes to the concept of mindfulness according to Buddhism, so now in a secular sense we have seen people practice mindful meditation and they just try to stay in the present moment. So that's also a concept that Buddhism appreciates, to be mindful in the present moment. And going beyond that level, when it comes to right mindfulness, from Buddhism, it says like, if you can maintain your mind with wholesome thoughts, that is the moment you are mindful. Because if someone blames, or if we feel like someone does something wrong to us, and if we can protect ourselves without letting it popping up negative thoughts in our heart, like jealous, anger, or such kind of evil thoughts or negative things in our mind, then which means we are mindful and we have a great practice of mindfulness. So that's really helpful. And through loving kindness meditation, we all the day, even in the morning when we practice loving kindness meditation, we forgive people. We forget negative memories and forgive people, and we try to be fresh and start the day with a fresh mind. So I think it's helpful.
I have another question for you. Am I right? The expression is bodhisattva. People like Jesus Christ, in the Buddhist thinking, you have a category for wise people who lived in the past. Is that right?
Which means in the past there were wise people. Yeah, when we focus on our traditions and practices, basically the life of people was not so complex. So they had even as monks. Nowadays we have a limited time to practice meditation,
Yes.
and during that time, from morning until evening, and even at night time also, they had the ability and time to practice meditation, focusing on there, and that's why they gained some advancements of spiritually. They got some spiritual advancements. That's the reason nowadays what has happened, it has changed. Our lifestyle also have changed, and we have to deal with people, and we have some busy lifestyles, and that's why I think that must be the reason uh, to be so.
Yes, well, with social networks and mobile telephones and all these other things, we are bombarded with information, and that can be very stressful for people. Yes?
Yes, indeed, I also believe in that. Yes. Yes, sometimes now even when we focus on social media, so we have some good points. People can get things very quickly, people can get to know things quickly and fast, but mostly what happens, negative things, negative activities, they people normally share them with others, and with that people waste their time, and people focus on negative things. Even if something wrong happened in a place, then people focus on that. That's the reason. Then their mind is always with them, and they are thinking. But earlier it was not like that. If something wrong happened, then then that's over from that place. So that's the thing. And what I can understand nowadays is that with social media and things, but the person has the fullest responsibility. If I can use that in a proper way, even if I have a television here, so I have the remote, so I have that control. So if I can use this in a proper way, so that's why we always say it's up to us to practice ourselves.
Or you can turn it off.
Yeah.
As a chaplain at a university, where, of course, there are a lot of young people, we hear that sadly, students do think of committing suicide or commit suicide. Are you and the other chaplains able to help students deal with these crises? And do you think you are effective at doing that?
Yeah, I think we can help such students. And even I can remember now, 1 month ago, one student, and she was so stressed, and with that she had a mental disorder, and then she called me, and then I also had a nice conversation. And what happened after 1 month, she was okay, she became well, and she called me, and even she said, now I am okay, now I feel like I'm getting better, and I have no feelings that I had at that time. And which means she said that when I talk to you, I hope and I believe in that my mind became well, and then with that I could recover. Which means I hope that we can do something when we listen to people, and and also we can give them good positive thoughts, even when they come to us, when they say, I have exams, I have these things, and I'm so busy, and my family is there, and they are doing like this, and I have such problems. When they say, and then we listen to them, and then we give them positive thoughts about life and change, and the like, I think we can do. And I have met some people like that, stressed people, and um, I think we can avoid such things you said, like committing suicide or such kind of things. We can just avoid them. We can
Yes.
avoid definitely.
or self-harm, whatever they do. And nearly my last question to you is Buddhism as a faith and a belief, is it growing? Are more people becoming Buddhists or thinking the Buddhist way in mindfulness and meditation? Do you believe?
Yeah, I believe in that, because we can see now people are so keen on following teachings. Even when I go with this robe, people ask me, "Are you Buddhist? Are you a Buddhist monk?" And when I say that I'm a Buddhist monk, their face are so good and they smile and they think that they can get something. So I hope that people are searching for things and people are coming to practice meditation, and we can see a huge difference, because this was not earlier like this, but nowadays people are just thinking, and they are coming even to the temple. Some people are coming to practice meditation. So, and I think they have an interest. They have an interest, and I hope personally in the future people will start to practice meditation, because I went to Shetland for schools, and the
Right.
school children also asked me very good questions, which means I just thought that they will start learning Buddhism or learning these teachings. So I believe in that. Like, but my advice all the time for them: don't try to get a label that I'm a Buddhist, or like, because nothing we gain through converting someone from another religion to Buddhism. So nothing we gain. So the person should decide what he should do. Even a Muslim lady asked me once, "Can you give me a small advice?" Then I said, "Okay, just try to purify your mind and give the fullest responsibility to yourself, to practice yourself, not harming anyone, not doing anything wrong to anyone. If you practice yourself, if you can purify your mind, that's the best way." That's my advice. It's small advice, so anyone can practice that.
Wonderful. That's very helpful. Well, it's been so good talking with you. I think you have, in the minutes we've spent together, encapsulated the essence of your beliefs and how others can share those beliefs and how this can work for good in our very troubled world, with what's going on in the Middle East, for example, between Israel and Gaza, with what's going on in Ukraine between Russia and Ukrainians, the challenges of the South China Seas and possible Chinese expansion, the issues in North Korea and Iran. And as I list all these names, it makes me feel stressed, and it reminds me that the solution is to meditate and think of mindfulness. So you've given us all a wonderful guide to how to interact with Buddhism, and it's very, very good of you, Morawaka, to spend a little bit of time with me today, you over near Strathclyde and me here in Edinburgh. So God bless. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for you also for inviting, and just I want to appreciate you, because so you are listening to us, and then when you listen to us like this, I hope that this is the best message. This is the best message, because just interacting with people and without doing anything harm to others. Even when I meet people here, they look at us and then they smile with us. We feel like that's the world we definitely want, and for that this is the best message, and that's why you were listening to me, you were questioning me, and I really appreciate your commitment, your dedication for this. Thank you very much. I wish you good luck and happiness.
Thank you, and you make us content and happy just speaking with you. So thanks so much indeed. Bye-bye.
Yes, you are very, very welcome. Thank you very, very much.
Bye-bye.